Hi folks, it's Chandra Polasek, Director of the Portland High School Theater Program here. And I'm coming to you live from a completely empty auditorium all by myself. So that means I can talk to you with my mask on, which is great. So at every show in our printed program, every production I've done in our printed program, there's a director's note. And that kind of explains to the audience why I selected the show I did and what I feel the students will get out of it and what I hope the audience will get out of it. But this year we won't have an in-person audience. Our audience will be live, just not live in this space. So we don't have a printed program. That means that this is your director's note. So I'm a theater educator, clearly. I have 2 degrees in theater, and as a theater educator, I don't just teach theater, but I use theater as the vehicle for teaching. What can the students learn through the art of theater about the other subject areas that they're learning and the world they're living in and the history of the world they're living in and all of that. So my question every time I select a show is, why is this the right show for my students? What is it they have to gain or learn about the theater arts? And why is it the right show for the world my students live in, this time? So that I can see that they are connecting not just with themselves, but with the world and the society they live in and with each other. So let's talk a little bit about the 1940s. The 1940s clearly were a rallying but also divisive time, incredibly tumultuous. People were changing their lifestyles. They were having to make sacrifices of multiple kinds. Materials were scarce. They had to change the way that they went about doing the things they normally do. And it altered how they interacted with each other. And so people turned to the arts as a form of processing the things they were dealing with, and escapism and expression, right? And in the 1940s, the entertainment was mainly film and radio. So now we flash forward to 2021, and once again, here we are in an incredibly tumultuous and divisive and rallying and emotional time where people are having to make changes in the way that they live their daily lives, and materials that they had planned on being there aren't there anymore or are scarce or challenging to get. The way we interact with each other certainly has changed. And once again, when we're looking for a way of escapism or something to explore, we've turned to the arts. We've turned to Netflix and Hulu and Pinterest and explored new ways of processing what we're dealing with. And so it made sense to me that a 1940s show would fit with the world my students are living in. They could connect with the struggles of the 1940s and connect with the characters they were representing. That's not to say that we are equal or greater now than the sacrifices and challenges that faced America in the 1940s, but it allows my students to draw a connection. They can look and see clear parallels and clear similarities between the two worlds. Additionally, it allows my students to learn a new way of doing the same art that they've been doing for years. I mean, if you look at the walls here, we've got posters for all the years past productions, and we've got it on both sides of the auditorium. So clearly this art form has been happening here for a long time. But it can't happen the same way. So how do we let our students learn something about theater that is new in a time when we can't do it the same way we've always done it? And, radio play just made sense. Let's learn about the music of the time period. Let's learn about the Foley skills. Let's learn about, the different sound, how to change the sound of your voice. And so there were all of these wonderful aspects that hadn't been explored because we hadn't needed to explore them. And now, because of the restrictions and the way that life is, my students really gained an opportunity to learn something new about the art form that they love so much. And I hope that you will take the opportunity to tune in, because I truly believe that this was the right play for my students and the right time for this play. 7 o'clock, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Show's a little bit different each night, so tune in all nights if you want to, or just pick one. support the arts, because it's through the arts that we grow as humans. Thanks so much for listening.